Hello, it's a beautiful evening once again, but it depends on where you are. I'm actually streaming from United Kingdom. That is in Newcastle in United Kingdom. That is where I'm streaming for. And I want to say hello to everyone this evening. Hope you're well, hope you're good, and you have not stopped keeping safe. That is our usual way of greeting everyone on this program. And you all know that this is the clinic with Oluwatosin Oladimeji Ladipo. It's a platform where we help the youth and young adults to maintain virtue while breaking limits. And this evening, well, we started a series like 4 weeks ago. We've been talking about the boy child. That is what we've been talking about. And this evening, I guess we are going to conclude it this evening with the last topic on raising a boy child by a young widow. Raising a boy child by a young widow. That is the topic you'll be treating this evening. And I'm sure that our guests will start coming in. They come in most of the time in trickles. That's where they always come in. So I'm not always surprised, really. So I'm always rest assured. And I want to say a big thank you to all our guests that have been coming from time on. They've been coming, impacting people with their wisdom, with their understanding, with their experiences. I really want to say a big thank you to all of you and to all our viewers. You know, it's my culture to always say thank you to all of you. Like I said, we started this program last year, and without you watching, without your feedbacks coming to us, there is no way this program would have continued. But I really must say a big thank you to all of you. Thank you so very much. We appreciate all of you. Not to waste too much of our time this evening, I said earlier on that the topic you'll be treating is raising a boy child by a young widow. That's the topic we are treating this evening. And please help me. Let me introduce our guest to you. Our guest. Her name is Mrs. Oluwatoyin Adeloye. She's a young widow. Yeah, she is a young widow. And she's a mother of two boys, two lovely boys. She is an entrepreneur and she's a marketing personnel all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. Please, wherever you are, help me to welcome this evening our guest in person of Mrs. Oluwatoyin Adeloye. You're welcome, Mrs. Toyin. How are you, Mrs. Adeloye? How are you this evening?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mrs. Oladimeji Ladipo, for this opportunity. Thank you so much. Amazing. Oh, finally I'm here. And you know, when you told me about it, I was like, okay, what does she want me to even say in the very first place? Because come to think of it, my journey so far, I always told her, I said, look, and see, my journey is actually saying God all the way. And she's like, oh yes, I know it, but you have something to share with us. Yes, you have something to share with us. I said, okay, fine. I will come and give my own little piece of my experience. Yeah, thank you for having me here. And hello to everyone too. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining this program. And I'm sure you've been blessed in so many ways. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Ma. It's a great privilege to have you. It's a great privilege. You know, for several times we've been trying to bring her on, but because of our busy schedule, but thank God this evening she's here. Thank you so much, Mrs. Adeloye. Like I said, we do not want to waste too much of our time this evening. We just want to go straight into the program. Like I said, you know what the clinic is all about. That is a platform where we help the youth and young adults to maintain virtue while breaking limits. And we also catch the children young by giving them the right orientation about life. That is what we do on the clinic with Oluwatosin Oladimeji Ladipo. And every Sunday is always, like question and answer thing. We ask questions, being the moderator, we ask questions, and the guest somebody's trying to log in. Thank you so much, Sister Rosalind. We appreciate you. Thank you for coming online. And in return, our guests always give us their feedback out of their experiences, out of wisdom. They've been impacting us, like I said earlier on. Now we have some questions for you, Mrs. Adeloye. The first question is, would you like to tell us more about yourself, aside the things I've already said about you?
Okay. Well, you said a lot. In addition, I've actually worked as an account manager in the advertising sector for over 8 years. I actually currently I'm into marketing right now. I work for a production company. Yes, I'm a mother of two strong men, you know, and yeah, I'm a very optimistic person. I am somebody who wouldn't pretend about my life, my mistakes, my learning curves, my learning processes, because like they say, the very time you stop, in fact, when you stop learning is when you die. So for me, I'm open to learning. I embrace my mistakes. I'm open to learning from others, because I just believe that it takes a whole world, a whole village to raise and become who you want to be, now and in the future. So that's basically about me. Yeah, that's the addition to what you said so far.
All right. Like I
Yeah.
said earlier on, you're welcome once again. Now, our next question to you, Mrs. Adeloye, is what gives you the tenacity required to raise boys on your own?
Wow.
Did you get the question?
Okay. Yes, I got the question. I got the question.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm a very optimistic person, and I think this platform, like you said, you call it the clinic, and that's because it is a place where, sorry to say, perhaps sick people come to get healing or get cured from the clinic. Because if you are not sick, if you are well, there'll be no need for you to come to the clinic, and if you're sick, that's when you need to come to the clinic. So I'll be as very real, and I'll be as real as possible. Now, what gave me the tenacity to raise his voice? The truth about the matter is, the truth about the matter is, God has given them to us as a responsibility. So you don't have, well, for me personally, let me not speak for other widows out there. I don't have a choice. I just had to raise them the way that I can with God on my side. Now, when their father passed some over 3 years ago, I was just wondering, I was like, how in the world am I going to be able to raise these boys? How will I
Mm.
do this without their father? How? How am I going to do this? How? On my own? Every day it kept on dawning on me that, look, it is your responsibility to make this happen. Like my pastor would say,
Mm.
there are two sides to a miracle. You have the divinity and you have the humanity part of it. So the tenacity to do this is driven from the fact that I just have to do it. I don't have a choice. I don't have a
Mm.
choice. Honestly, I just have to do it. Not because somebody owes me a reward for it. No, it is my duty to raise them from now to for their future. So for me, so that's the drive. That's what keeps me. That's what drives me in raising this voice as a single mom. I mean, I've heard stories of some widows abandoning their children after the demise of their fathers. I don't blame them, because in all honesty, it is not a very it's not a very smooth journey.
Mm.
It's not a very fantastic journey, but the truth about the matter is, it's a thing of choice. I have chosen, I have made up my mind that I will raise them, God on my side. So I think that's the driving force for me. It's a thing of choice. I have chosen to raise them as as a mother. Yes. So I think that's it for me. And for some people out there, they'll be like, okay, what's she talking about? What do you mean by it's a thing of choice? Is anybody forcing her to do so? Nobody is forcing me to raise them. No, it's really a thing of choice. It's either I decide to dump them, all right, or I decide to do what God has asked me to do. And God Himself will not force you, because He has given us a will. So it is now for us to decide, or for me, let me speak for myself, because the question is directed to me, right? So it is
Mhm.
left for me personally to say, what, I have taken this responsibility to do this, to raise this voice, with God on my side. So I think that's the answer I have to that question. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Adeloye. She said it's a matter of choice because she made up her mind to raise these children no matter what. Ah, that's deep. Of course, you have a choice to just leave them and do your own thing. That you feel that you have your own life to live. That you chose to do it despite all. Thank you so much, Mrs. Adeloye. Now, our next question to you is, what are the things you think your boys could be missing in the absence of their father that you are making up for? Hello, Mrs. Adeloye. I guess the network is bad from my end. I'm not sure if he's here, but please, my viewers, if you can hear me, could you please type yes for me, please? Help me out. I want to be sure the network is not from here. Okay, I guess she's back now. Yes, you're back now. Okay, we can hear you. Did you get the question? Mrs. Adeloye?
Hello.
Did you get the question I asked you now? I just asked you a question. Did you get it? Mrs. Adeloye? Please, my viewers, if you can hear, just please type yes for me, please, if you can hear me. Okay, my viewers said they can hear me. It's now, I guess the network is from Mrs. Adeloye. Mrs. Adeloye, well, before our network will come back, let me just quickly do a recap of what we said before some people came in. We are actually discussing the raising of a boy child by a young widow. That is the topic we're treating. Okay, Mrs. Adeloye, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
No, I can't hear you. I'm just using, I am actually lip reading your lips to understand what you're saying.
Okay, can you hear me now? The network is from your hand.
I cannot. Wow.
Hello, Mrs. Adeloye. Can you hear us, please?
The mic is on.
Can you hear us, please?
I can't hear anything anymore.
All right.
If you can hear me, maybe it will come up later. You asked a question and you said what were all the things they missed after the demise of their father, right? I think that's what you asked me. Okay. The truth about the matter is they miss their dad. They miss their father. I know sometimes they will say, "Oh, mommy, if daddy was here, he would have done this. If daddy was here, he would have done that." You understand? Oh, mommy, if daddy was here, perhaps would have gone for our family hangouts, even without having to, ask for too long. You understand? Oh, if daddy was here, he would have done this, would have done that. And the truth about the matter is we can't erase that away from their memories. They knew their dad, and they actually miss him so much. But as a mother, one of the things that I've also tried to do is to be strong for them, in my own little strength, is to be strong for them. So they hardly will find me crying, you understand? They hardly will find me, feeling bad about the fact that their father is no longer there. Not because I'm superhuman, no. But I deliberately took those steps because in so doing, it makes them stronger. When they see that, even our mom will hardly cry, will hardly be in a bad state, it makes them stronger. So I think sometimes when they want to get into that emotional zone, especially for my first son, who really looks a lot like his dad, when he wants to get into that emotional zone, and then he sees my face, and I'm more like smiling on the outside, but yes, inside I might be bleeding inside. Like, I'm just like, oh God, help me so I don't break down before this child. You understand? And make it worse. So when he sees that, mommy is not even crying, mommy is, strong about it. You understand? He just cleans his face off and okay, mommy, life continues, go on. So it's a function of they miss their dad. We can't take that away from them. And I'm sure for other children who had a good connection with their late parents or parents, can never take that can never take away that memory from their minds or from their hearts. That special place will always be there. But I've come to understand that as they grow up, they tend to, the journey eases on, so to speak. I lost my dad when I was 13, so I knew it really hit me a very deep blow. Yes, it did. I had to go back to boarding school. I was 13 going on 14. That was when my dad passed. So I was like JS3 going on SS1. That's when my dad passed, and it affected my. No, I was already in SS1, I think so. Yeah. So it kind of affected my grades because I was my dad's favorite, and we were very close. It affected me big time, but somehow God used different people to help me overcome that phase. I didn't really live with my mom at that point in my life. So I had other people in my life who God used to help me, to go through that journey. So yes, it's not always easy for children, but I will always advise widowers, to work on their emotions because it's an emotional journey. It's not always very easy. Sometimes the emotions, rub off on we positively and negatively. And negatively in the sense that we begin to pass on the emotional frustration on the children. Do you understand? Unconsciously, we find ourselves doing these things. But it is important for us to work on ourselves emotionally so that we rub off positively on the children. Because, if we don't raise children who are emotionally strong, it will take them a lot of grace. It's what a lot of grace, to be able to overcome that stage or phase in life. Well, I am speaking from my own personal experience, and it's working for me. Sometimes when I go to church, I go to places, people don't even believe or even know that okay, this woman has even been married, number one, to start with. She has even had children and even lost a husband. And then even on my children too, when they see how they relate with other kids and everything, you're like, okay, except for people who eventually come close to us and make their findings. A lot of people hardly would believe that I'm a widow, and my children actually have lost their dad. Some people even think that my husband is abroad. Do you understand? So it's important for us to work on our emotions. And how do we even work on your emotions? It is not by your own power. It is not by my power. I'm not claiming to be a superwoman at all. No, I won't say it. It is actually God that has helped me 100%. I remember when my husband was laid to rest, I came back and I said a prayer. I said, God, this is just too much for me to handle. I need you to help me. I need you to help me. And he's been helping me all through. He's playing his own role. I am also cooperating with him to make it a success, or to make it work. So we just have to, give ourselves out, be open-minded. You understand, when raising these kids in that regard. So back to the question, the truth about the matter is they miss their dad. There's not, you can't erase that. They sure miss their dad. I think I've spoken too much on this question, but I still can't hear you. Don't know if you can. No, I can't hear you.
Okay, Mrs. Adeloye, I'm sure our guests can hear me very well. Just hold on. I'm sure our guests can hear me very well. But the truth of the matter is that I really salute your courage. Losing your own dad when you were very young, and now losing your own husband at a very losing your own husband as you're very young too. You're still very young, and you lost your husband. That's a very one. I don't know. I really don't know how to put it. But indeed, like you said, it's all about grace. God really gave you courage. God gave you strength to really gone through it. You've gone through it, and God is really helping you. I really salute your courage. I don't know, I guess the network is indeed from my hand. Well, I want to say this. We started, let me just quickly do a recap of what we are doing this evening. She's coming back again. Let me try and log her in. She's back again. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. I can. Yes.
All right, thank you so much. Like I was telling our viewers that we started a series 4 weeks ago, and it's all about the boy child, raising of a boy child. And this evening is about raising a boy child by a young widow. And well, we've introduced our guest to you, and she has told us some things about ourselves. And the last question we asked her was, what are the things you think your boys would be missing in the absence of their father that you are making up for? And well, she told us it's a process of, it's an emotional thing. She lost her dad while she was young, and now she lost her husband 3 years ago, left alone with two boys, and she's coping. That indeed must be grace. We salute your courage, Mrs. Adeloye. We really salute your courage, because what last week we treated a topic on raising a no 2 weeks ago we treated a topic on raising a boy child by a single mom. Do you understand? And of course, what we said, we are able to establish something, because people said that raising any boy, that is any child, don't let me even say boy, any child that is being raised by anyone that is single without a father figure, that the person is always, they always raise a child, they always raise challenged children. That is the norm that we've been hearing. But we saw that lady, the single lady, that her child was exceptional, and she said it's not true. Now we are hearing from a single mom. Now she's not single, it's because she's widowed. That is why she's single, and now she's raising two boys on her own. Abba, God indeed must be there. We salute your courage, Mrs. Adeloye. Like we said, please, we don't want to get too emotional on this program this evening. Let's go to our next question. And our next question is, what are the things you used to do for your sons when their dad was around that you cannot possibly do now?
Okay, so well, I really don't think anything has really changed so much. When your dad was here, of course, there are times when it was it was financially tight for him. Of course, as a helpmate, I have to come in, secretly, without even the children having to know that, okay, mom is one having to do this, standing in for dad. You understand? But right now, my boy.
This network, mind yourself.
Say that again.
Is the network? We aren't hearing you any longer, but it's clear now. You're back. Continue.
Okay. So I said my boys and I, we've actually established, a very we're established. Let me use the word establishing a very strong relationship. So I think I even do more now. So I've made them my friends. Of course, I've made them my friend. They see me as a friend. Yes. They can ask me anything. So so I can't really say that, okay, there are things I used to do before that I can't do again, because now it has to be more, because their dad is no longer here. So I'm the one playing the role of the father and the mother. So it has to be more. It's dual, But there are certain things but I think, let me flip it this way. I would say I make them realize the reality of life. That, look, truly and truly, yes, your dad is no longer here. All right. So it is now God, me, and you. So when mommy says that she will do this and she's unable to do it at that certain time, you just need to give mommy some more time. Okay. And if mommy is not coming forth on a particular request, then you should know that mommy doesn't have too much. Because my children don't believe that mommy doesn't have. So they'll just, one funny thing they do? Mommy, you don't have cash at hand. Go and use the ATM. I'm looking at them, look at these children.
Oh, our network is really going bad again. Why? Okay.
Go and use the POS to do this. Go and use the POS to do that. And I use it at them, and I'm like, okay. don't worry, I will have this and I'll have that done. So, but the bottom line is, they realize, they understand that when things are not forthcoming, then that means mommy doesn't have at that particular time. It will come later. So they are growing to that maturity, that okay, it's just my mom and my mom alone. There's an instance when they wanted me to buy them a bicycle so bad, and I think my younger son made a statement and said,
Oh dear. Mrs. Adeloye, the
if
network
daddy
from your
was here now, daddy would have bought.
I sincerely am not happy this evening because of this network. Our guest is actually prepared for this program this evening. Sometimes the network could be so crazy, not friendly in any way. And I guess that is what is happening this evening. And we are so sorry, my viewers. I'm really, really very sorry. Most times it's not always from us. It's just the technical problem that we are experiencing. I guess she's back now. So your son said that, if daddy is here now.
If daddy was here, he would have bought me this long time ago. He would have done this, he would have done that. And I smiled. I didn't say anything. So it was as if God knew, in fact, God saw my heart, and God knew the urgency as if they really wanted a bicycle. Somebody just gave them 2 bicycles. Do you understand?
Wow.
So 2 bicycles. So I would say that, for me, I would say that I've just established, or I'm establishing a good relationship with them. So it makes it easier for them to for them to grow out or ease out of this phase of their life.
Mrs. Adeloye.
I hope I'm communicating.
Yes, you are. Just that the network is so bad from your hand, but we can hear you. We are trying. Okay.
Okay. So I mean, other people out there may have a different answer to this. Some other people may say, "Oh, the things I don't do right now, maybe I don't do X, Y, Z anymore because your dad is no longer here. I don't do this. I don't do that." But if you're able to build a good relationship with your children, be open-minded with them. You understand? Of course, you take it according to their, you explain things to them according to their level, based on their level, what they can assimilate at their ages. All right. So you're able to build a very good relationship.
You are able to build a good relationship with your children.
Sorry, calls are coming in. So it makes it easier. That's what I can say. Okay, I can't hear you anymore.
All right. Thank you so much.
So I don't know if you can hear me, but yeah, that's
all right. Thank you so much, Mrs. Adeloye.
I think
she
I
said
have to leave and and join again because I cannot hear you anymore, and I don't know why it's happening this.
Okay, no problem. You can log out to relog in again. Thank you so much, Mrs. Adeloye. She's been able to answer the question, and I really appreciate that by building a strong relationship with your children. And there is something she actually said that really struck my heart, that sometimes this God that we are even serving is just, he works in a way that you don't even understand most times. And that is because he is God. You don't even need to understand it sometimes. She said before her husband died, that of course things were a bit tight for her husband then financially. So she was the one standing in gap, doing all the things that requires finance in the house. And she was doing it, not knowing that God was preparing her for such a time as this, that her husband will not be there and she will be the one that will take up the financial responsibility of the home. Imagine that. In fact, God must be a great God. And I sincerely must appreciate her own courage too, and building up a strong relationship with the children. That was exactly what she did. And that is why, sometimes, and that is the reason why she's been able to cope with, with some things about the children. Thank you so much, Mrs. Adeloye. I was just doing a quick recap of the things you said. Thank you. And our next question to you, Mrs. Adeloye. Can you hear us now?
I'm with you. Yes, I'm with you. I can hear you.
Our next question to you is, how do you instill discipline in your sons? How do you instill discipline?
Yes, definitely. Very important. Discipline is a must in raising boys. It's a must, but even the girl child too. Hold on.
Mrs. Sorry,
yeah, just a minute.
My viewers, we are really sorry. We are waiting for Mrs. Adeloye. She said we should take a few seconds.
Sorry.
Yes, she's now.
Okay, so discipline is a must. MUSC. It's a must. It's very important. Yes, it's a must when you're raising boys, especially boys. It's very important. So for me, I actually use a mixed approach. So like they say, when you spank a child, you draw the child back with the left hand. All right. So for me, I instill discipline. It's so important. In fact, we have our codes at home. They know when mommy says, I'm giving you a red card. Oh, mommy, I'm sorry. In fact, I'm going to get it done. They know. They understand that. Of course, there are times they just want to be boys. They just want to be kids. You understand? They just want to. Kids will always be kids. Children will always be children. Okay, you can't take that. You can't erase that. But of course, you have to be friends with them for them to be able to open up to you. And at the same time, when there is a need for discipline, it must not be erased. It must be instilled. It must be instilled, because it's more like it shapes them up. Even scripture says that you spare the rod and you spoil the child. I'm paraphrasing. Do you understand? So it's important. It's very important. Discipline, not necessarily using the rod, like the Bible will say, but there are other forms of discipline, and they will stick by it. They will understand that this is time for this is time for that. There are times we play, there are times we cheat. I use the word cheat, but discipline, it's a must. It's so important. It's so important. It's a must, especially for single parents, single moms, single dads. It's discipline is very important. And single dads with their daughters, there's a very, very strong need for discipline. Single moms for their sons, there's a strong need for discipline. And the other way around, it's so important, because without discipline, at some point, if you don't instill discipline, these children could just stray away. Personally, I lost my dad at 13, but before I was 13 years, I enjoyed a lot of discipline from my mom. So I would tell anyone any day, anytime, if my mom did not instill discipline in my life, I don't think I would have gotten to where I am today. So it's very important. With God's grace, we pray about discipline is a must, but there should be a balance. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Mrs. Adeloye. There must be a balance. Yeah, discipline is a must. Yes, there must be a balance. Thank you so much. Now, our next question to you is what challenges are widows raising boys facing? And how do you think they can surmount these challenges?
Okay, the challenges are numerous. They are numerous. So the major challenges are usually emotional, financial, would I want to say spiritual, but these are usually maybe social wise. Okay, these are usually the challenges that come to play. Now, in terms of emotions, if the boys or the children we're very close to the deceased parents. Sometimes it takes a longer while for these children to grow out of that atmosphere of that phase of, okay, my deceased parent is gone, they're not coming back anymore. Okay, sometimes it takes longer than usual, but for some children, they're able to cope with it very well. Okay, they're able to cope with it very well. So, but like I mentioned earlier, the single mother or the single father, the parents, the living parents, all right, who is taking care of the children should be emotionally stable. Okay, now, I'm a Christian. Yes, I abide by God's word. All right, but of course, there are times when your emotions are going out of place. Okay, you might need someone to talk to. All right, maybe you need to go hang out with one or two friends. You understand? Maybe you need to go out. Maybe you need to just hang out. Maybe you even need to go for a party to go and see other individuals. All right, and just make yourself happy. All right. For some people, they need to go to the mountain to pray. You understand? For some people, they just need to give themselves more time to God's word. Some people just need for some people they just need to yell. So it works for different people in different ways. You understand? And for me, I'm a very open-minded person. I choose to be happy. I choose to be happy. There are times, yes, I'm emotionally down. I'm not a superhuman, yes, but I always choose to be happy. Anything that would that would take me that would take me that would take me that would take me down the emotional, that would take a dip in my emotional curve. I do everything possible to get out of that phase, because if I am not emotionally stable, it will definitely affect my children. It will definitely affect my children, and I have seen this happen. And I've made up my mind that, look, I have to emotionally stable 95% or most of the time. Yes, so that's very important. Then if for I'm a woman and my boys are men, so I'm seeing my boys growing into puberty, and they're asking me questions about certain things, you know, and I have tried. I can answer where I can, all right, and the ones I'm unable to answer, I'll either refer them to a male friend, or perhaps to a family member who is a male who can explain very well to them, because there's certain things they will want to ask questions about. But I'm a woman, I've never been a man, so I may not be able to explain it all to them. Do you understand? So it takes a whole village, let's say, to raise a child. Yeah. So we still need we can't be idle all the time. We can't be an island. Sorry, we can't be an island all the time. Sometimes we need friends, we need people. The opposite sex, yes, can help to explain certain things, to our children. I mean, especially if they're the opposite sex. If I had a girl child, it would have been easier for me to explain certain things, because I have gone through childhood as a girl, puberty, teenage years as a girl, all right, adulthood as a young lady, gotten married, and here I am today. I'll be able to explain certain things to her. But I have boys, and there's certain things I can't explain to them because I've never been a man. But before this time, when their dad was alive, we always spoke to them about sex education. And in my own little wisdom, and from the knowledge we have, vast knowledge we have, social media, from books, from messages, we're able to continue that phase in teaching them about that area. So it boils down. So these are some of the emotional challenges as a single mother or as a single father you may face, because questions will pop up. Now, I was actually my older son did something wrong today, and I cautioned him, and my younger son said, you know what he said? Mommy, did you adopt us? Yes. Did you adopt us? And I looked at him. I said, I really? He said, yes, mommy, yes, I'm just being curious, I just want to know. I said, really? What makes you think so? He said, well, mommy, and the way you're talking to Shefumi right now, the way you're doing this, the way you're doing that. I said, is that so? Who do you look like? He responded. Who does Shefumi look like? He responded. You understand? So, but the thing is, if I was emotionally unstable, maybe I would have beaten him so badly, and he'll be wondering, where did I go wrong? I only asked a question. Do you understand? So we had a conversation about it, and we spoke, and he said, oh, mommy, I understand. You know, I am sorry. And I said, you know what I said to him? Don't ask me this kind of question again. He said, and he was like, yes, ma'am, I understand. So, you know, these are some of the challenges we face emotionally, you know. Yeah, some of the challenges we face. Then another experience is when these children begin to grow into puberty, you know, they begin to feel like, okay, I'm the man of the house, especially because they are boys. I'm the man. You know, they want to take some decisions on their own very early. They want to do this on their own. And that's a challenge, you know, but you need wisdom, you need knowledge and good communication to be able to, you know, cover that area effectively so that they don't go out of it. Because if it's not properly handled, you find your children, or you find, yes, going just going out of the sphere without you having to take proper care in that regard. So that's some of the challenges we face emotionally. And then, of course, finance is something we cannot escape from. Now, it's just one person. You know, it's but the truth about the matter is God is extremely, extremely faithful. I will say it anytime, any day. Honestly, status, there are times when I am red, but I've come to I think I'm growing to that point in my life where I've said to trust God because I've seen him work in my life. Yes. For others who may not be believers, who may not be Christians, who are going through this phase, I would for the finance, I will always advise that you hold on to God, because once you seek God as your source, it makes it easier. Yes, you may have a source of income, which is very important. You may have a business, you may be working, which is so important. But there are times when something happens, you know, like they say, the SHIT happens. Do you understand? Life happens, all right? And when it happens like that, who do you fall back to? Who do you fall back? Who do you look up to? There are times I don't have anything in my house, and the kids are, oh, mommy, we're hungry. And I'm like, don't worry, we'll have something to eat. And I don't know how God does it all.
What happened to your network? Your network is gone again, Mrs. Adeloye. Well, it's been an amazing time listening to your story on how to raise boys, to raise a boy child by widow. And she's been so fantastic. He must be balanced emotionally. There are lots of challenges that they face emotionally, financially, in every facet of life. There are so many challenges that they face, widows face, you know. And I think individually too, aside us being widows, we also face them. And she has said something to us that we have to be emotionally balance. You have to be emotionally okay. You have to be well emotionally. That is what Mrs. Adeloye has been able to tell us. And she advised also that financially, you must not be a parasite. Well, and she said you must have something doing. Just don't feel that, oh, because my husband is a widow, my husband is no longer there. So why won't you do something with your hand? That is either you're a business person or you're working, probably like, is it white collar job? Probably that's what they call it. That you have to make sure you have something doing so that it will not be a liability on others. And she said something that sometimes when life happens, which of course most times is something that is just compulsory. Life just happens without you planning for it, without you expecting it. Life happens, and when life happens, she said you must depend solely on God, because he has a way of sorting people out. That is what Mrs. Adeloye has been able to tell us, and we appreciate it for all your candid word of wisdom that you've been able to tell us this evening. I don't know, do you want to continue, or we should ask you the last question? You were saying something about finance.
Oh well, okay. I think I think I've said majority of it, and you have also capped it all. It's important for a widower to have a source of income. It's so important. Whatever it is, you must have something doing. Your family members are there, yes, they could be of help to you, but the truth about the matter is these people also have their own personal issues to deal with. They are not bad people. I hear a lot of people, I hear a lot of widows who say, oh, my husband's family abandoned me. Yes, while that could be true, yes, we see a lot of stories like that. Oh, they abandoned me, this and that, but I will always advise it is better for you as a woman, even as a married woman, to have a source of income. It's so important, because like you rightly mentioned, life, like I also mentioned, life happens. Life could happen. Anything could happen. So it's important. It's so, so important. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Adeloye. Before I ask my last question, there is something you just chipped in now. You said some widows will say that, oh, my husband's family, they abandoned me. What came to my mind is, no, I guess the statements might be wrong in the sense that, these people too, I guess they might have what they are facing to about life. Do you understand? They definitely have life, have their own life that they're facing, something that they are facing. So, for example, someone that has like 3 children, you have your own children, still thinking of what to do, and the society is not, economy is not smiling. How are you not expecting such person to take up your own burden and her to ease or hers? It will be difficult. Better we stick to what Mrs. Adeloye said, our candid advice, that please learn not to be a parasite. Find something doing. Whatever your hands has find to do, please do it with all your heart. If you, like she said something, and I'm holding on to, and I'm saying thank you to that. Before her husband passed, that her husband had financial constraint, and she was the one, taking up some financial responsibility in the house. Do you understand? She was doing it, not knowing that God was actually preparing her for what is going to happen in the future. She didn't know it. If she was a parasite, everything, oh, my husband, and she's not ready to do anything with life, what would have happened to her today? But like we said, please make sure you do something with your hand. Just don't be a lazy person. Just don't be a parasite. Learn to do something so that these children will see you and call you blessed. That indeed, our mom is a strong woman. Our mom is a courageous woman, and she's doing well. Thank you so much, Mrs. Adeloye. Now, let me ask you our last question. We have 1 minute to go, and we can do justice to that. The last question is, what advice do you have for widows raising sons? No, I have 2 more questions, please. Let me ask one before you answer this. Please, before you answer this, let me ask that other one before you answer this. The question is, because we're saying something that your son are reaching, is it what's the stage in their lives that they are reaching now? They are turning to men. I don't know the language you use in qualifying, the adjective you use. They are now, turning to men, from boys to men. That is who your boys are now. They are really growing. I really want to ask you this question. And that's the question we've been asking all the people since we started this boy series. That's the question we've been asking. Now the question is, how can you define a future romantic relationship for your sons? How can you define a future romantic relationship for your sons?
Okay, so which one do you want me to answer? The first one, what I would like it to widows, or I should answer the second one?
I said this one first, before that, the last one. This first.
Okay, the truth about the matter is, we have different personalities. Okay,
Okay.
so of course, in most cases, you find elements of your personalities in your children. All right.
Okay.
So, but it doesn't totally define um their emotional or their romantic state. Now, what I as an individual may find attractive or romantic, all right, might differ from theirs. So, but the most important thing is for them to be whole. Wholeness is so important for you to be able to enjoy a fantastic romantic relationship for I mean in the future. For my children, I have told them, I keep telling them from now, you cannot have a I tell them, my sons are going on they're 11 and 8. I tell them from now, you cannot have a romantic relationship now until you are an adult, like your way into the university. I tell them they are humans, they are men. Okay, so it is not in my place to define what what to be romantic for them. I can give clues, I can give advice, but I don't think it's in my place to define. No, because what they find tasteful and distasteful might be different for what I might find tasteful and distasteful. Besides, they are men, I'm a woman. They will look at life from the eyes of a man. I will see life from the eyes of a woman. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
defining a romantic relationship for my boys will not be totally in my place to do so. I, as a mother, I can guide. I can guide, but they know what will be good for them. They know what they want. They'll be the ones to woo a woman by themselves. It won't be my place to woo a woman for them. No, I wouldn't do that. So I will only guide. Because of time, I think I have to stop here.
All right. Thank you so much, Mrs. Adeloye. Now, do you want to answer our last question? That's
Please
what
go ahead.
advice would you like? That what advice do you have for widows raising boys? That's the last
Oh,
question.
okay. First and foremost, what I would say to them is life is a choice. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a choice. God has given us a will, and or even if He has given us an assignment and purpose in life, He has given us a will as well. So you either choose to do it or you choose not to do it. But if you choose to do it, I'm sure God would call you a faithful and worthy servant at the end of the day. But if you choose not to do it, it's fine. I don't think God will kill you for that. However, if in the long run you find purpose, please go ahead and do the will of God. That's what I would say. And then secondly, make yourself happy. Please don't live an isolated lifestyle. No, it will not help you in the journey of your life as a widow. Please make yourself happy. It's very important. Joy is so important. Scripture makes us understand in the book of Proverbs that um said how does scripture say it in Proverbs? Oh my god, I can't remember it right now, but I will paraphrase it more or less like a happy soul lives longer, but a broken soul, who can put it in place, who can put it together, something like that. I'm only paraphrasing, but it's like joy is so important in the life of we individuals, so we should make ourselves happy, be joyful, be happy, have healthy relationships that will help you positively, and in the long run help your children to be who God has proposed them to be. It's so important. So living an isolated lifestyle will not help you. You'll be sick. It could lead to depression. It could lead to high blood pressure. It could lead to sickness. So many things. I have a lady who she's a widow way before I became a widow, and she has 3 children. Yes, but if you see both of us, you'll be wondering who is older. I'm not saying it's by my own power, no, but it is a thing of choice. So choose to be happy, choose to be happy, choose to raise your kids properly. It's a thing of, that's what I'm going to just say right now. It's a thing of choice. Choose to be happy. Honestly, it makes life easier, it makes life better. That's what I'm going to say.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Adeloye. In fact, you've been very impactful this evening. You've been
Thank
very,
you.
very impactful. wonderful. I really must appreciate you. And I'm sure our viewers have learned a lot from everything that you've said. But I want to just read a quote by Pastor Itwa. I want to say Pastor Itwa Adeloye, Pastor Itwa Igodalo. The last time yes, Pastor Itwa Igodalo. I remember there was one time he was on this program, and he said something that was profound. He said something that, let me read it out. I put it there because I do not want to forget. He said, you cannot do anything about what life throws at you, but you can do something about how you react to what life does to you. Did you get that? You cannot do anything about what life throws at you, but you can do something about how you react to life. In a nutshell, what Mrs. Adeloye said, I'm just relating it to that, and that is where we call it a date. Life happens. She did not desire on her own to be a widow. I'm sure she must have been praying for herself. God bless my husband. God keep my family. God keep this. God do this. God do that. But one way or the other, some things just happen to us. Things just happen without us not desiring it. But when those things happen, how do you react? Like she said, she has chosen to be happy. How do we react? She reacted by making herself to be happy, by choosing to be happy with life, by choosing to be emotionally balanced, to be emotionally well in life, by choosing to take care of our children, by choosing to make sure that our children turn out well in life and not be, and by her choosing not to be a parasite. And that is why she's taking up some businesses and she's working. So when life happens, how do you react? When life throws things at you, how do you react? Thank you so much, our viewers. I'm sure it's not only widows that must have learned from you this evening. We that we are still, that we have our husbands, that we have everything about us still intact. You know, we've learned a lot from you. And we must indeed appreciate you, Mrs. Adeloye, for coming online this evening. I'm sure, you know, there was a time we are really, running after her to get her because of her busy schedules. She was unable to come. But this evening, we are glad to have her, and she has been able to impact us well. And indeed, we must say a big thank you to you and to all our viewers. We appreciate you for coming online. We really appreciate you. More grace, Mrs. Adeloye, more courage, more strength from God. That's the prayer we can pray for you. God himself will uphold you. Whatever you need, God himself will supply. Thank you so much. God bless you. And this is where we're calling it a date on our program. Till we meet again next week, I remain my humble servant and your loyal friend, Oluwatosin Oladimeji Ladipo. Till next week, please stay blessed and bye. Bye, everyone. Bye. Bye.